We are Don and Lisa, the camper couple, and we're on a cross-country journey called the Route 64 Tour. In the late 1980s, when the last little section of I-40 was completed, not everybody was a fan. In fact, Charles Corral said, "Now, thanks to the interstate system, it's possible to go from coast to coast without seeing anything." Being that I've been to both ends of I-40, I have to agree. Though we got to our destination very fast, the ride was quite boring. That is why I'm so glad we discovered the Route 64 Tour, where the open road is the destination. It forces you to slow down so that you have more of an experience with all 5 of your senses. Where on the interstate can you turn a curve and suddenly hear the roar of a waterfall? Where can you come to a stop sign and suddenly be hit with the scent of fresh brewed coffee? You see, the interstate is all about getting somewhere without stopping, whereas the Route 64, the stopping is the greatest pleasure of all. In our last episode, we were telling you about one of the main stops on Route 64, which is the town of Asheboro. It has the world's largest zoo, many shops and restaurants, and the Pisgah-covered bridge. As you continue west on Route 64 out of Asheboro, you pass through a lot of areas that are farmland and forest. But behind all of those trees are some very exciting places to visit. Places like the Caraway Speedway. This is the Caraway Speedway.
You don't get much more North Carolina than this.
A lot of NASCAR legends got their start on this very racetrack right here. Or the elevated Wake Park near Lexington, North Carolina. This brings us to our next stopping point on the Route 64 tour, the town of Lexington and the town of Thomasville. However, if you're traveling with a camper like us, just west of the town of Lexington is the Forest Lake RV Resort and Campground. This is a great launching point as you explore both east and west of the campground. When you come to this area, come hungry because this is one major foodie town. Lexington is known mainly for its barbecue. That is the reason you will find colorfully painted pig statues all over the town of Lexington. One place I have to recommend you visit while you're here in Lexington is Childress Vineyards, owned by NASCAR legend Richard Childress.
We are at Childress Vineyards. This is one of our favorite places to come in. It's kind of a special occasion place for us, but it's awesome. Because there are concerts and things done out here too.
Yeah.
So.
If you're in the mood for some great hiking, just west of the town of Lexington is the Boone Cave Park. This was one of the homes of the legendary pioneer Daniel Boone. Continuing west is the town of Mocksville. If Childress Vineyards wasn't enough for you in the town of Lexington, well, Mocksville has many more vineyards to show you. Mocksville is also the town where there is a major reunion of the highways. The last time that 158 and Route 64 crossed paths with each other was way out on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. With a simple right turn here, you could take it all the way back to where it started on the Outer Banks. I should warn you that there's a lot of heavy truck traffic on this particular portion of Route 64, and there is this one bridge that might make you cringe as you go under it. There is a TA truck stop here in Mocksville, so it'd be a good chance for you to fuel up before you continue on the Route 64 tour. Continuing west, Route 64 crosses I-40 quite a few times. There are a lot of campgrounds in this area, so you have your pick of a lot of different places to stay. Next, you come to the town of Statesville, which is the second largest city on the Route 64 tour. As you've seen in our previous videos, Statesville is the home to the Carolina Balloon Fest.
Hey everybody, we are at the Balloon Festival in Statesville, North Carolina that they have every year. But this is pretty darn incredible if you can see some of the balloons that are going up behind us. It's still early, so we're going to check out the sights here. It's going to be awesome.
Believe it or not, most of the balloons that you see are made right here in North Carolina. There's a company called Firefly that makes most of these balloons that you see flying today. If you happen to not make it to the Balloon Festival, don't worry, there's lots of other things to do in Statesville, North Carolina, like the Zootastic Park, where you get many up-close personal encounters with the animals. You can also tour the historical Fort Dobbs in Statesville, North Carolina. As you leave Statesville, this is the one area that I encourage you to get off of the Route 64 and go on to State Route 90, which is the old Route 64. Here, if you stay on Route 64, you'll totally miss Stony Point, Hiddenite, and Taylorsville. Each one of these towns are rich with history dating back to the Industrial Revolution. But the town I want to concentrate on is Hiddenite, which is named for the rare gem that is found in the area. But Hiddenite's not the only gem that's found in this area. In fact, some of the largest emeralds ever found in North America have been found right here in Hiddenite. There are 3 gem mines in the area, but the Emerald Hollow mine is the only one that's open to the public. You can go gem mining yourself here, and I have heard that there's been some really great finds that are worth a lot of money in these areas. When you get to the town of Lenoir, you may want to set up camp for a few days because there's so much to explore in this area. One amazing place that we discovered on Route 64 was the Harts General Store and Creamery. Here you can get a nice cup of coffee or choose from 40 different flavors of ice cream. Plus, there are many things that are for sale there at the General Store that might spark your interest.
This is so mine. Yes.
I'm leaving it up to you.
Even though my hair is fixed today. That is awesome.
But what makes this place really awesome is that the proceeds go to an animal rescue. Yeah.
So 3 years later,
You're hopping.
You are really hopping today.
it's been pretty. Yeah, it was really busy. We opened July 1st, but it's settled down. It's steady, and that's good. So the barn was built in 1928 by my grandfather John Hart, and 1955 my father started a Grade C dairy in this barn, and then we moved up on the hill and had a Grade A dairy, and 3 years ago the barn had fallen into disrepair and a tornado took the roof away. So 3 years later, this is what we decided to do. This is part of a rescue farm, Harts Haven Rescue. And most of the animals you see that are here, and a number more back up on the farm, dogs and cats, are rescue animals. And if any profits are made here, that goes to support the rescue.
That's
so
awesome.
That is really awesome.
Love
that's the story. I mean, it's just kind of been, I don't know what you call it. You know, people started saying, you know, we had a few people that we sort of asked, well, did you want to put some stuff here, vendors? And then now vendors have started approaching us, like this guy that does the plants. I mean, all those plants, it's just a guy down the road, Rick, who has, and they're $10 a piece, which seems to be reasonable. So
That's awesome.
That is really
You really
awesome.
got something cool going.
well, we wanted it to be something for the community, which we've noticed that people are starting to meet here, family, you know, if somebody lives down the road and somebody lives on the other side, they
But you could
meet
even
together.
make this like a venue. Like,
Well, we got plans down the road.
that would be fantastic.
Glory is a rescue Belgian draft from
Beautiful.
Ashboro about 3 weeks ago. She was on her way to Mexico to be Statebrook. And we've done rescue before. You know, I mean, it costs to rescue one, but we hope to eventually do some carriage rides. We've done carriages.
That is cool.
That is really
How
amazing.
fun.
Really
I
amazing.
mean, you know, there's not a lot of farms. Well, when I was a kid here in Caldwell County, there were 40 dairy farms. And I used to show cattle in the fair. Things like that. There are no dairy farms left. So this is the closest thing that we could come to. So we have dairy products. And my saying now is, we used to milk cows, now we milk people. So,
This is amazing.
You never know what you're going to find when you do these things. Homemade ice cream.
Awesome place.
Wonderful little farm. They rescue animals. They've got a horse named Glory that was a rescue horse that they use the funds from the ice cream that they sell to help rescue animals. And Glory, the horse, was one of those animals. And they've got more that you can't see from the street here. But we just met Mr. Hart from
So nice.
such nice people. And we will definitely come back here. But this is one of those hidden treasures that you find on the back roads of North Carolina.
So thank you, Mr. Hart. We really enjoyed meeting you today.
Welcome to our bonus segment called Off the Path, where we tell you about places that are really great to see that are not part of the Route 64 tour. In this episode, we showed you how an old barn became something new. Well, the same is true for the town of Spencer, where an old locomotive repair shop got turned into the Transportation Museum of North Carolina. Here you can take a train ride through town and see the transformation of transportation through the years. It is because of this area right here that the town of Spencer got mentioned in the song called The Wreck of the Old 97, which was the first record ever in history to sell over 1 million copies. There are many special events held here throughout the year. For example, around Christmas time you can ride the Polar Express. Around Valentine's Day you can have a wine and dine tour. And you might even get a visit from Thomas the Train once in a while. Even though it's not part of the Route 64 tour, it's still a really great place to see. We just had a nice little lunch at Southern Crossroads in Lenoir.
Delicious.
Not far from the Harts Creamery where we were just at.
Shout out to both of them. It was awesome.
One of the reasons why it's really good to stay here for a few days is that you are just 30 minutes away from Blowing Rock and all the beauty of the Blue Ridge Parkway. After Lenoir, Route 64 takes a hard turn to the south to the town of Morganton, where it will cross I-40 for the last time in North Carolina. This is the last time that 64 is going to cross 40 for a very, very long time. We are headed way down south, below 40. We're going to hit the very thick of the mountains pretty soon. It's going to look like a whole different world. Join us next time as we go chasing after waterfalls. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for bloopers, and until next time, happy camping.
That's the story. Do some good editing.
This one.
What's your channel called?
The Camper Couple.
Camper Couple. Okay, I'll look it up because I live my life on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
And it's great to go to places that you can't normally go to.
Why would you go to an Applebee's or Chili's or something like that you have all over the place when there's these little mom and pop places that are so unique and
one of a kind.
You can't go to at home. That's what I go for whenever I'm out of town.
Okay.
He's being nice to me because I'm low carb. Oh, it's okay. Do I go that way?
Yeah, I gotta go that way.
Just turn around right here. You'll be at the... Who's beeping? Somebody beeping at us?
I had to turn around.